let's go ahead and pivot to the NFL, shall we?
Oh, yeah.
So something big's coming up, right? A little bit.
Yeah, I do believe. I think it's what, Super Bowl 54.
I think you're a little bit off on that one, man. I
You,
think you're a little.
you sure? You
Yeah.
sure? It's pretty much the same thing as Super Bowl 54, isn't it?
Yes, Super Bowl 58. I think it's kind of funny that people always talk about there's not enough parity in baseball when there's just the same teams going to the playoffs every year. And this is the exact same thing as the Super Bowl.
Just keep it rolling, man.
Yeah, the exact same two teams as 4 years ago, same coaches. Everybody tells me the Salary Cup's good for parity, and I'm not seeing that, just to be honest with you. So when it comes to the Super Bowl, what is your initial take on this? Like, what are you looking to see out of the 49ers and the Chiefs?
I mean, you got strength versus strength in this one, man. I mean, the 49ers all year have been a great defensive team, backed up by Brock Purdy and his, ever blossoming offense. And then you've got someone who's been there, who's done that. Patrick Mahomes returning to the Super Bowl again. You've got this Chiefs team that is just, they've just got the experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
In their conference finals, you could just see that team was just a little bit more prepared. Patrick Mahomes is the guy under pressure. I'm not sure if Brock Purdy and the 49ers are ready for this moment, but I'm excited to see it. This is going to be a good Super Bowl, man. Yeah.
Absolutely. What I think this really comes down to, this is going to probably be one of the best coaching matchups we've had in Super Bowl history.
Oh, yeah.
You got Shanahan versus Reed. Reed is arguably the best coach of the NFL this year.
Absolutely.
You've got Andy Reid, who's looking to cement his legacy with another Super Bowl win. And then you've got Shanahan, who's looking to add that missing piece to his resume. Shanahan, I don't know if you remember this, but if you think about the last two times he's been in the Super Bowl, what does he learn? What does he take away from his previous experience? In both of his Super Bowl experiences, his team has blown double-digit leads in the second half.
Yeah.
So first as an offensive coordinator with the Atlanta Falcons, and then again, obviously with the Super Bowl that happened 4 years ago that we're about to have a rematch on. So when it comes to that, like is the Kansas City Chiefs, this is going to be a coaching matchup. Who's going to make adjustments? Who's going to
chess match all game.
Exactly.
Yep.
How are they going to attack Purdy? Are they going to try and keep him in the pocket? Are the 49ers going to have, with the 49ers having so many offensive weapons, you've got Kittle, you got Debo, you got McCaffrey, you got Ayuk. Yeah. And then on the 49ers side, do they stack up well defensively against the Chiefs? Now, the Chiefs' offensive line is not the same as it was 4 years ago.
Right.
They're much more talent on that aspect. So there's a whole bunch of different variables that kind of go into that.
And Patrick Mahomes has only gotten better. Yeah.
Exactly.
And he's not hurt.
Yeah.
Like last year we saw him injured in the Super Bowl and he still pulled it out.
Yes, not hurt. Kelsey's playing out of his mind.
But we all know why he's playing out of his mind.
Why is that?
If T Swift was coming to every one of your games, bro, you'd be playing out of your mind too.
I gotta get your take on that. Like, one of those funny is, did you see? Okay, so if everybody who's up in arms about this, about her, is saying about how she's got too much screen time when it comes to these games, who's the maddest?
Who?
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, she's like, I just want to go watch a game.
In the conference championship, she said, "Go away, please." She mouthed at the camera last time. Do you know how much screen time she got in the last game? Out of 4 hours of coverage, or 3 hours of coverage?
I didn't see that.
48 seconds.
Much better.
She was on camera 48 seconds.
But I totally get it, dude. Just because you're Taylor Swift, like you went to the football game to watch a football game.
Yeah.
Not to have every one of your reactions recorded.
It's true. And yeah, they do ham it up a little bit, but I do think it's good for the league. I do think they're overblowing it. How many times over the Detroit's playoff games did they show Eminem? Probably more than 45 seconds. I want to bet you. I
love Eminem. I want to watch him the whole time.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of.
There should have been a live feed on Eminem. The whole time.
Agreed.
just recording his reactions.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's a little overblown. But my key stat to this, and we'll cover this next week when we break down our predictions. So be sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell.
Tune in.
So you can see our predictions for the game.
Yep.
But here's my key stat. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Point differential. The Kansas City Chiefs have a 77-point differential over the season. But what do you think the San Francisco 49ers is at?
I feel like they've won big a lot. Over 100?
193 plus. They're plus 193 points on their opponents this year.
I was going to say, they won big a lot this year.
They've won big a lot this year.
The Chiefs have had some closer games. But the big thing is with the Chiefs, dude, is like they are like 4 or 5 touchdown passes away, like dropped touchdown passes away from winning like 3 of those games.
Speaking of Patrick, man, are we watching Mahomes on the path to GOATness?
Absolutely.
You want to know something crazy?
Huh.
If you match him, he's 6 years as a starter, right?
Sounds right, yeah.
Okay. You compare him to the GOAT, And yes, we're going to catch some comments on this one.
Say what you like. Tom Brady's there for a reason.
If you compare Tom Brady to Patrick Mahomes, the first 6 seasons as a starter, every key offensive stat, completion yardage, touchdown throws, passes, you name it, the offensive category, Mahomes is winning across the board. If he wins this Super Bowl, they'll be matched for rings as well.
I think the big thing that'll stand out to me is longevity. I'm not sure Mahomes can last as long as Brady did, because Brady was a full-blown pocket passer, where Mahomes likes to get out. He hasn't done it as much lately. Like the last couple of years, he's been much better at staying in and not taking those big hits, but that was how he got there, right? Like his whole career at Texas Tech, he was the guy that could drop the ball down, run and get you those yards, but he was always constantly taking those big hits that led to injuries, that led to him, being just a little bit off of healthy.
Right.
So as long as he can continue to get back into that pocket passer, rely on your offensive line to protect you, and he can last as long, I think he's on the way to GOATness. My opinion.
I do want to say something about when it comes to Mahomes is that if he has this level of greatness, it doesn't necessarily have to be long enough. If he comes out of there with the same amount of rings and the same amount of MVPs and the same amount of accolades as Brady, it doesn't necessarily last as long. I think he's got an argument.
I totally agree.
And I love the fact that we're actually able to sit here and watch this throughout, We want to know what you think, folks. Let us know in the comments down below what you think as far as your early predictions there. Not necessarily your predictions, but your early keys to the Super Bowl that's coming up in 2 weeks. The great thing about this is we actually get to talk about it again next week, and make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you tune in to see our predictions there.
Yep. And everything we talked about probably doesn't make this short video if you're watching on a short video. So make sure you click the link below. That'll give you over to our podcast. And also our podcast is available audio only wherever you get your podcasts.
If you'd like to see everything we talked about as far as the NFL, we're going to have that linked right below here. So make sure to check that out. Not a whole lot this season, simply because nobody watched it. So let us know if you guys want us to cover more NFL content. We'll definitely get into that.
Yep.
For sure.